Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Today on this sunny but very cold day, I'm out and about with a new Pinhole camera. I'm out and about with a Harman Titan 4x5. It's a very solid ABS built cone of a camera and uses 4x5 film, paper, depending on what you want to use. And I'm using paper in this, and I've got 4 shots, so I'm going to go out and about, and, well, let me hold it the right way around. So I'm going out and about and do some test shots, and let's see how they turn out. Actually, before I start, I'll just go a little overview. So you've got a cold shoe on the top, you've got a spirit level on one side, you've got a tripod mount on the side, and on the bottom we've got a mount on it in a minute, and you've got a spirit level on the side as well, which is very handy. You can get additional cones, you can take the cones off. This comes with a 75mm. I'm not too sure what other sizes the cones are. So my first 2 shots are going to be here. This is Oxford Castle. A little bit of a tourist attraction, but as you can see at the moment in March it is very quiet, which is very good for me. So I've got a bright sunny day. Here is Oxford Castle. Used to be a castle, then it became a prison for a very long time, and now it's a Malmaison hotel, so you can pay 130 quid a night to stay in a prison. And you've got a bit of brutalist architecture here, which doesn't really match with the aesthetic. These architects seem to be more suited to be making greenhouses rather than buildings, but there we go. Anyway, I'm going to try and take an image of this. The idea I've got is to get the stairs going up like this and then get the castle here. So I'll give that a shot. So it's my first time using this Titan, and so you're going to have to bear with me on the results, because I'm not too sure how it's going to look with the framing. It's supposed to be something like 24mm, 35mm equivalent, so it's fairly wide but not super wide. You know, pinhole cameras generally, you can get quite a lot in your image and you're used to going in quite close. So this is a tricky thing for me because there's no guides on here. So I've got the cone line going that way and then the cone line going that way, and hopefully I'm going to be able to get the whole tower there in shot. So let's give number 1 a go. Let's get the tight slide out. And I'm not too sure if this whole image is going to get in shot, but we'll see. And I do. 30 seconds, just over. The punishment cells. So you get put in here, look. Extra punishment for bad behaviour. I better be a good boy then. Now look here, so this is the bottom part is the original, and then you got your trendy modern part where people stay. As you can tell, I'm not very convinced by modern architecture. Certainly when they try and blend it in with, you know, the old buildings, it just never matches. London is really bad for that. So I'm going to see what the exposure is for this and try and get an image of that. Alright, it's going to be a longer exposure for this because it's a bit dim down here. So we got it at 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Number 2. its thing and start the stopwatch. Right, it's over 8 minutes. The old count back on. Dark side in. And there we go. Whilst I'm here, I'll show you around a little bit. So you got the old prison governor's house here, and you got the castle mound, which you can pay to go up on top and get the views. Obviously, here's the castle. Little coffee shop. I'm not going to take any more images today here because I want a good variety of images, but I'm going to come back at some point and probably do another image kind of like this with a pinhole camera. I do find it amusing, the passage of time, in that, you know, this used to be a place of imprisonment and suffering, and now it's a tourist attraction. And then here's where I was before. So I'm going to pack up in a bit and then go to my next location and take my final 2 images with the Titan. So I'm in a park called Botley Park. And just by chance I saw that there's a bathing place nearby. So I'm going to go and have a little look at that, see if I can get an image of some sort. It's one of those cliche things, you know, with Pinhole, you go, I'm going to take a bit of architecture, I'm going to take a bit of nature, and then I'm going to see if I can find something water related. Why is this closed off then? That's no good, is it, if it's closed off? Hello, duck. Probably something like this, put it here. Take an image here maybe. More over here maybe. Yeah, something like that. There you go. Whilst I'm waiting, I've got the Ranica 35S on me. And I always keep this in my pocket whenever I'm out and about, because you can get lots of shots out of this. So I'm going to do this bridge here quickly whilst I waiting for that to do its exposure. Now I know it crops a lot, so if I bring it up here a little bit. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All else fails, just do 10. 10 seconds. Quite a nice little location that I might come back to again at some point. I'm not sure why it's closed off, but sometimes when you're out doing photography, you have to trespass a little bit. Now, when I use these dark slides, what I do is when I know it hasn't been exposed, I've got the black side out, and then when I know that it's been exposed, I put the white side out, like so. Voila. So, got it set up like this. Drop it off. So with this composition, I've got the daffodils going on. There's a bit of movement, but that's all right. And then you got the whole church with the trees coming in, hopefully a little bit. I kind of like this view. It's pretty cramped around here as well, so there's not many options for me to get really far back. I mean, it was here, which is all right, but then unfortunately there's no daffodils. There is some little flowers here, little wildflowers. As it's March, what better way to represent March than daffodils and a church? I think that's enough exposure. Let's get the kit, put it on. Okay, and dark slide in. Long way round. So before I leave you today, I've got some comments about the images that I've took today. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but the images have got a very punchy, contrasty look about them, and there's a multitude of reasons for that. First one is the camera here has got a very sharp pinhole on it, and it just produces very punchy, sharp and contrasty images. The other reason is that normally I pre-flash the paper. I didn't really pre-flash the paper this time around, and probably that was a bit of a mistake. On top of that, as of late I've been developing my paper negatives with Cinestill DF96. Now, Cinestill DF96 is not really designed for paper developing. It's designed more for film, but I'm not a big fan of the results from developing my films with it. But what I did discover is that if I dilute the DF96 by quite a significant amount, it works pretty well with paper negatives. However, the bottle I used had too much concentrate in it, so as a result it developed super fast and super contrasty. On top of that, or the second image here, if you see. So this was way overexposed, and all this top information was mostly lost, so there wasn't really a lot I can do about that. For some reason I must have knocked the settings on my light meter app off whack a little bit, so it was like one stop overexposed, so it was giving me a much longer exposure time than it needed to. So as a result, there's no information in the sky at all. It's very blown out. But there is images at least, that's the main thing. So with a combination of overexposing my image, the super sharp pinhole on the Titan, me developing with DF96, but not as diluted as it should have been, gave me the images that you see today. There was very little post-process involved with these. I just inverted the image and then had to bring the exposure down a little bit and then just put a border on them. An interesting look, I would say. So yeah, if I had it a little bit more diluted, if I flashed the paper before, maybe exposed it a bit more correctly, I probably would have got more smoother and more latitude in the image, let's say. But I'm quite happy with the images that I took. Certainly the first one with the castle and this one here of the church with the daffodils, I really like those two. And overall I'm quite quite pleased with this camera. Its pinhole is ridiculously sharp, So yeah, but overall, yep, Harman Titan, brilliant. So I hope you liked today's images and hope to see you next time. Bye bye for now.